Hey guys, it's Benny. Breaking news. There is a massive terrorist attack happening right now in Moscow, Russia. Of course, the capital of Russia. A monstrous concert hall has been invaded by 5 gunmen wearing camouflage that ruthlessly murdered hundreds of people and have now set the thing on fire. This is a massive concert hall inside of Moscow. This is called the Crocus Concert Hall, and it is burning to the ground, what it looks like, along with the hundreds and hundreds of people that were inside after a vicious and monstrous terrorist attack that just occurred in Moscow. Possibly the largest terrorist attack in Russian history by a domestic force, or we don't know, actually. We have no idea. We're not sure who the attackers were, who they were aligned with. We know they were in camouflage, and we know that they were operating in a militant efficiency. And videos we can't show you here are just unbelievably gruesome. Cold-blooded murderers, these guys. Walking up and just murdering inside of this very, very crowded concert hall, and now presumably setting it entirely ablaze. Moscow Concert Hall shooting, at least 3 gunmen in camouflage open fire on crowd. Huge, massive venue engulfed in flames, and many deaths reported. At least 15 dead, 50 wounded. I've seen estimations all over the place, but this will have massive, massive repercussions, ladies and gentlemen, depending on who these militants are. The TASS news agency reported that a blast and a fire in the building were shook at 8 o'clock local time. Police and special forces and 50 ambulances have arrived on scene, with the video footage showing a number of people lying motionless in pools of blood. They are horrific images. Hundreds may be trapped in the building as the flames rage. I have a feeling right now that the estimations are low when it comes to people who have been killed in this, because, well, I mean, you could just see the footage. These are the gunmen right here. This is inside of the concert hall. It was a packed concert hall, preparing for some type of event tonight. And you can see how many people were actually inside here as emergency, an emergency and fire alarm was pulled. And then, of course, you can hear the gunfire starting and people hiding for cover. Ladies and gentlemen, this is maybe I'm thinking maybe it's not the right time. No, it's the perfect time, actually. It's the perfect time to remind you to prepare. Like, you have to prepare. You have to protect yourself. Like, make sure that you protect yourself. I have a concealed carry. Like, I make sure that I am protected. Like, hopefully you live in a state that has concealed carry, and then you can make sure that you are, at the very least, have a fighting chance in a situation like this. It is horrible to watch. Our prayers are out for the innocent victims here in Moscow. An awful thing to have happen. A club and shopping center in Moscow, Russia, appears to be the target of a terrorist attack. Multiple gunmen in military-style fatigues. Second blast reported in concert hall. Gunmen in fatigues are opening fire. The story is developing. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not know as of yet where the gunmen are from. 5 gunmen wearing camouflage entered the Crocus City Hall music venue. The U.S. and other European nations warned of an imminent terrorist attack in Moscow. Hundreds wounded, 40 killed, number expected to rise. Crocus City Music Hall venue currently on fire. Hundreds still reportedly trapped inside. Russian emergency authorities are arriving on scene, along with firefighters. We pray for everyone's safety. 40 killed, hundreds wounded after multiple gunmen opened fire in concert hall in Moscow. There is some really, and now apparently Moscow is on lockdown, full lockdown and curfew after the terrorist attack on the venue. The police and personnel being assembled to reinforce security in the city. So the U.S. State Department did warn for people to avoid large gatherings over the next 48 hours in Moscow, Russia, Embassy is monitoring reports of extremists and imminent plans to target large gatherings in Moscow, include concerts. U.S. citizens be advised to avoid large gatherings. So this is public. 2 weeks ago, U.S. Embassy in Moscow warned against imminent attacks by Islamic extremists. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are. So again, I do not know who the extremists are, but the American Embassy was warning against it, along with John Kirby.
Hopefully you saw the State Department or embassy there put out a notice to all Americans in Moscow to avoid any large gathering, concerts, obviously shopping malls, anything like that, just for their own safety. They should.
Do you notice so this was a concert and a shopping mall, and you notice John Kirby says avoid concerts and shopping malls. Little too on the nose for me. Little too on the nose for me, ladies and gentlemen. What was it like inside? We have our first eyewitness talking.
Balcony on the third floor. A couple of minutes before the start of the concert, we heard some sound, some clapping sound. We heard those gunshots. The people started running towards the stage, and there seems to be other exits there. We were at the upper areas. Then we saw the gunshots near the center of the stage. We decided whether we want to stay there or run out of there. We decided to get out. We went to the lower floors, despite the fact that we heard gunshots on the other floors as well. On the second floor too, we heard gunshots there too.
So, ladies and gentlemen, people are talking about what geopolitical ramifications may occur in this scenario. Now, it has been public knowledge that the war in Ukraine is lost. Former top Polish army chief admits Ukraine is losing the war. Every indication is that Ukraine is losing the war. Is the world running out of patience for Zelensky's blank check demands? Poland stops giving arms. The U.S. gives a fraction of what Ukraine's leaders want. You can see here on the map, this is from the New York Times, the red is the area that Russia gained, and the little blue areas is what the billions and billions of dollars of counteroffensive money has gained in Ukraine. Yes, this is lost, and Russia continues to take territory from Ukraine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying it is what it is. Okay? The world is not sunshine and gumdrops. There are bad people, and oftentimes in war, both sides are the devil. Okay? Like, there's no angels in war. Go talk to somebody who's fought in a war and ask if you were on the side of the angels. There are no angels in war. There are two sides, varying degrees of evil. All right? I'm just saying, that's why the best stance is to be anti-war. The best stance is to be peace at all costs in virtually every situation. Will this lead to escalation? I mean, if these people are found out to be like Ukrainian-backed terrorists, totally. Yes. The U.S. can only produce about 1,000 artillery shells per day. Europeans even less. Russians are producing and using 10,000 a day. This is one of the reasons why Ukraine is losing the war. Congressional action won't fix this. So here from the Berliner Zeitung, the U.S. knew in advance about plans to blow up the Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea, according to Poland's foreign minister in an interview published Friday, but the U.S. did nothing. So this is a terrorist attack. This is the largest eco-terrorism and economic terrorism ever. This is a terrorist attack that the U.S. knew about and then did nothing. Mike Benz, who's one of our favorite people as it pertains to these kind of topics of geopolitical warfare and next-gen warfare, says to the report that the U.S. State Department said, do not go to concerts in Russia. Once again, targeting music concerts. If the State Department knew it, the CIA somehow had advanced awareness and provided the intelligence and domestic paramilitary operations being planned in Moscow. Fill in the rest yourself. I mean, by every measure, it looks like the United States knew that something like this was going to pop off. at what point is there culpability? Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see to find out who these guys were and to find out, what the response will be as it pertains to Ukraine. I could see this escalating really, really badly, and that's why you need to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. You need to yourself stay armed and keep your head on a swivel. We live in a dangerous world. We always have. We've been sleepwalking for the last 50, 60 years after World War II in this country. Sleepwalking. Because people think that all the battles have been won. Nope. No such thing. We live in a sunken place. Our prayers are for the people of Moscow and Russia right now because of this heinous terrorist attack. It is grotesque to see the loss of civilian life and innocent life everywhere and anywhere. And we pray that this doesn't spiral into something far worse. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for more updates. See ya.